Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day brought to you by FiveMind.com. Well, it's always the same lie now, isn't it, right? Peaceful protesters, they say.
The vast majority of protesters, like 99.9%, have been engaging in peaceful protests.
Again, they're out here repeating the same disgusting lie. But nothing about these anti-ICE riots have been peaceful. There's little pockets of peace, let's call it, but for the most part, it's been complete chaos and seditious behavior. And of course, we already have enough evidence to make that case, to make that claim, but might as well pile on to it because this week, we've probably seen some of the most egregious examples of left-wing radicalism. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. Let's expose the true nature of the left. Let's debunk this peaceful protest nonsense, shall we? You know, two things that are so clearly diametrically opposed are peaceful protesting and the city of Minneapolis. Let me show you guys what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so this is a pretty crazy case. Remember we were covering that story, I think maybe a week and a half ago, where Democrats broke into a federal vehicle and started stealing all the documentation and the rifle that was in that lockbox? And of course, many of that documentation had personal information of certain ICE agents. They ended up leaking that on live stream and posting it online. Well, it was obvious why that was such an egregious crime, because clearly one of these nutcases was going to act on it, and that's exactly what happened. The FBI now announces an arrest of a woman who reportedly used said personal information from the stolen federal vehicle to, quote, threaten to kill an officer, his wife, and child.
Have some arrest warrants. You fake arrest warrants? Oh, what the hell? No. Bro, you not arrest warrants.
Yeah, nothing says just ma peaceful protesting and engaging in ma First Amendment rights like threatening to kill an entire family. These people are insane, and the threats are non-stop. You know, sure, we've been seeing more general threats aimed at any ICE agent all over TikTok. We have video upon video of Democrats calling to shoot ICE agents, but it's not just that. In some cases, they've taken these threats and targeted specific people. You know, they aren't trying to dox these ICE agents for no reason. This is what's happening. I got another egregious example here. This is a voicemail that was sent to an ICE agent and his family by another crazed individual.
You're a fascist pig. You should fucking yourself. I hope your wife dies. I hope your mom and dad die. I hope everything wrong that could go in your life happens. You should kill yourself. You're fucking disgusting. I hate you. Everyone hates you. You're a fucking murderer, and all of your friends are murderers.
These people belong in mental asylums. I mean, the behavior is completely out of line. And again, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's not coming out of nowhere. First off, it's probably mostly connected to the fact that all the asylums were closed long ago. Once again, more proof that was a massive freaking mistake. But secondly, it comes from the top. These people are simply mirroring the sentiment that is being pushed upon them by these insane, violent, top-level Democrats and Democrat thought leaders and activists all over social media and in the education system. Need more proof? Take a look at what the Philadelphia district attorney just said publicly in front of a crowd.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice.
Now, of course, I'm sure he'll legally justify it. Oh, what we mean is to legally hunt these people down. And sure, you know, you could play plausible deniability. You could play a semantics game. That's, of course, the typical lawyer tactic. But, you know, considering these are people who know very well how to choose their words, well, obviously he's sending another message now, isn't he? Obviously, he knows exactly what he's doing. And I think it's pretty hard to argue that that isn't a call to violence, that that's not an escalation of tension. And here's another example, very similar to the last. We've got this absolute insane freak, a candidate for attorney general in Ohio, a Democrat named Elliot Forhan, who keeps saying repeatedly on his social media that he wants to, quote, kill Donald Trump. But then he legally justifies it by saying he wants to bring Donald Trump down through the court of law and hand him the death penalty.
I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to Donald Trump. I mean, I'm going to obtain a conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, based on evidence presented at a trial conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That is what I mean when I say that I am going to Donald Trump.
It's just insane. This is the political rhetoric on the left. This is how far they've taken things. We're not dealing with rational people here. These people, in so many ways, are becoming monsters. And really, I think they're becoming everything that they claim to fear, that they claim the other side represents. And probably most importantly, it's coming from the top. And then, of course, it's mirrored from the bottom. This is a party, a political ideology that has become so absolutely radicalized. This is why their base is hunting people down in the streets. And actually, that's probably the perfect segue to the next topic. James O'Keefe, the latest example, political opposition getting hunted down in the streets. He's been attempting to do some on-the-ground reporting in Minneapolis, and instantly, the anti-ICE people tracked down his vehicle. They even got his cell phone number and texted him multiple death threats. And then eventually, they found him on the streets, started chasing him out of town, with one rider even throwing a frozen water bottle at his car as the mob surrounded the vehicle and forced them to flee.
I am shocked and amazed at how organized they are. I've never seen anything like this. Every vehicle, they're able to track, run the plates, confirm who they are, get their ID, like they did in my case. They ran my license plate. We're trying to figure out how they're able to do that, and communicate with each other about it. And when I got out of my vehicle, this is like 11:30 in the morning, just after the shooting and before the autonomous zone. Within seconds, there were 5 of them standing outside of a relatively inconspicuous vehicle, interrogating me, asking to see my identification. I've never seen anything in my life, a group of people more organized. And I warn people, because people are tempted to say, well, this is funded. And honestly, Megan, what I think and what I believe to be true is there isn't some one boogeyman funding all of this. It's a loose network of NGOs, some of which indirectly get funds from our government, but people actually really believe in their cause. And it's a cause that it appears to me that they're willing to live and die for, which is, I think, more terrifying than one guy funding them in a transactional way. They're everywhere. Shut the door. Shut the door. Whoa. We're press. Do you know what the First Amendment is? First Amendment. No. They threw a frozen ice brick at the car.
It's completely insane. You know, these people have lost the plot. This is what we're dealing with. This is not peaceful protest. This is harassment. It's incitement to violence. It's direct calls of violence. It's actual violence. You know, these people are constantly pointing the finger at the other side, saying un-American, unconstitutional, extreme, radicalized, ultra MAGA thugs, this, that, and the other. But they are everything that they claim the other side is. They're the ones who are un-American. The American way is to debate ideas, to do things peacefully, with decency. This group clearly represents the opposite of American values, and they prove it time and time again. As if, you know, stomping and burning the American flag wasn't signal enough. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.